tremendous, lethal, volatile, earth-shattering sports talk will commence in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you for joining your boy. This is the Doug Stewart Show coming to you live. Yes, real live. Yes. And it's October 21st, 2014. And thank you for joining your folk on this Top 5 Tuesday. Yes! Oh! So my daughter's listening to the show yesterday. She's like, why do you say yes so much? I says it because I feel good when I say yes. I don't know why. Why does Biggie Smalls go, baby, baby? You know? I don't know. Everybody's got their little thing that they do. And that's what I do. I don't know where I got it from, but I like saying yes. Oh, boy. And this is the Top 5 Tuesday. Yeah, a lot of good stuff today. We're going to have a lot of fun today on the show, on the Doug Stewart Show. The number is 404-382-0338. That's the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com. And I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. And all over the place at the Doug Stewart Show. That's pretty much how you'll find me. And also this chat thing we got going on Spreaker. On Spreaker.com. Join in on the show. This is the most interactive, the most fun, the livest show in sports talk radio. So get down with it, man, and spread the love, spread the joy of the Doug Stewart Show. I mean, it's the hottest thing going. We hot as fish grease, baby. Yes, we hotter than grease that you fry fish in. Yes, and if you're from the country, even if you're not from the country, you understand that fish grease is hot as hell. Yes. All right, a lot to get into, as I said. Very interesting everyday topic we're going to get into. And listen, let me just put it out there right now because I got a couple of emails on this yesterday like, Doug, and I think I said this the other day, for some reason, your boy is struggling with his voice. I don't know, maybe I'm not in sports talking condition. You know, I'm not in sports talk competitive condition. You know, maybe this is the preseason for me, the first time I've been on radio for over 2 years. It's been 5 weeks now, so you would think I would get my legs under me, but I don't know. My voice has kind of forsaken me over the last couple of days. Doctor, I need a voiceotomy. Yeah, I need a voiceotomy if there is such a thing. I definitely need one of them, but we're going to make it through the show because we are professionals around here, all right? We are professionals, and speaking of professionals, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, we need some help here with the show, okay? And I always tell people we're growing. We're actually growing. We got a staff right now of about 8 people, and within a couple of months, I expect that staff to be about 200 people. Yes, because we're doing big things around here. But here's what we need. We need a digital media specialist. That's what we need. We need a digital media specialist. All right, so parents, if you got kids that are in college and this is their line of business, this is what they're studying to be a digital media specialist, or they have programming background, they work with the internet, social media, that type of stuff. They need to have like a background in programming, okay? Because we're going to need this person to go in to the website and to the apps and to update information, add banners, take stuff away. So, you know, whatever the hell a digital media specialist is, that's what we need you to do. And guess what? The good thing about it is this. If your child is in school for this particular subject, most of the time, okay, because we are 100% legit around here, most of the time they can probably get college credit for it as well. So that's big. So email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com and send the information, send your resume or whatever is applicable to this job and that you can do this job. And we'll take a look at all those applications and those emails and we'll reach back out. But we need to fill that that position quickly. And this is an intern position, okay? We ain't paying you. I'm just telling you right now. But, I mean, this is a legit internship, a legit position that you can put on your resume when you graduate from school, and it's a good thing, all right? So get down with the Doug Stewart Show, and at some point, maybe we can put you on the payroll when we start making that real cheddar around here. Yes, maybe we can do that. All right, so email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. This segment is brought to you by FanDuel, one-day fantasy sports for as low as $1. Get down with that FanDuel. All right, so Tree, my producer, the Tree of Life is what I call her. She calls herself that, and I call her that too. I like it. That's kind of cute. That's kind of nice. The Tree of Life says she sends me this link to the story on legendary fashion designer Oscar de la Renta. Now, you might say, if you're not into fashion and you're not into style, you might say, who the hell is Oscar de la Renta? Especially for younger people, because this guy is like old as Methuselah. Well, he kicked the bucket. All right, he was 82 years old. He was a fashion designer. The man described as the Sultan of Suave. Now, here's the big deal about this guy. This dude has dressed every first lady in this country since Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. Yes, that goes back, 50 years? Every first lady. I don't know if he's dressing Michelle, because Michelle got a real swaggerlicious style about herself. So I'm not sure that includes Michelle, the first lady right now. But yes, that's his claim to fame. He's also dressed Oprah Winfrey, Anne Hathaway, and most recently, George Clooney's new bride. So it got me to thinking on this Top 5 Tuesday, kind of like a daily question type thing as well. Style in sports. Let's talk a little bit about style in sports. And also, give me your top 5, or give me an entrant in your top 5 uniforms. Whatever particular sport it may be. It may be college football, maybe the NFL, maybe baseball, maybe basketball, or whatever. And I've took the liberty to write down my favorite top 5, or my top 5 favorite uniforms in each of those particular sports. All right, so I'm going to give you my top 5 in basketball, in the NFL, in college football, and I got some fire blazing lists. Yes, I got some blazing top 5 lists, and so I'll talk about those throughout today's show. And then the daily topic that kind of ties into it as well is let's talk style in sports. And started looking at some stuff last night and researching this subject, and started thinking about style in sports and guys that were trendsetters as far as style-wise. And the first thing that comes to my mind, and I'm pretty sure yours as well, is Michael Jordan with the baggy shorts. And you can even go twofold, and I guess I'll go ahead and throw the two obvious ones out there. Michael Jordan with the Air Jordans, obviously, and Michael Jordan with the baggy shorts. Now, you talk about a style setter, okay? And there's some questions about who started the baggy short thing. Was it Michael Jordan? Was it the Fab Five? And I really haven't been definitively able to answer that question. Fab Five with the Michigan Wolverines, Chris Webber and Jalen Rose and those guys, they came along in 1991. Michael Jordan was in the league since, 83, 84. So you have to kind of look at when Jordan started extending his pants, because early Jordan, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, early Jordan had the nut huggers. He did, like everybody else. Michael Jordan had the nut huggers. And then, I don't know if you could do a chronological order, but they got a little bit longer, and a little bit longer, and a little bit longer, and a little bit longer. Thus, everybody and every ninja in America is wearing long-ass baggy pants down to their knees. Yes, and that's all a direct result of the influence that your boy Michael Jordan had. I'm going to give it to Jordan. Now, if you can send me some information that definitively says it was the Fab Five, then I'll run with it. But I haven't been able to find that. The fact that Jordan was along and playing in the NBA, I don't think Jordan wore the nut huggers for 7 or 8 years. And that's the math between him and the Fab Five. So I'm going to go ahead and give that to Jordan. And then also the other big one is obviously the basketball shoes, the influence of the basketball shoes, the first Air Jordans. I couldn't even imagine asking anybody for the first pair of Air Jordans. I think when they first came out, they were like $60, but that was just unheard of at the time. Now, They selling new Jordans for $200+. Some of the retro Jordans go for thousands of dollars. The man ain't played basketball in over, 10, 15 years, well over a decade. And the Jordans are still the hottest sneakers ever. And you talk about style. I mean, my gosh, Nike hit a huge lick. You're talking about lightning in a bottle. I mean, nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw the power and the impact of the Jordan brand and the sneakers, and everybody after that started coming up with these high-priced sneakers, and it's just been tremendous. And it all started with MJ. Yes. So we're talking about style in sports today. Some good Dougie Daily questions and conversation, as well as I'm going to be laying out a couple of my top 5 uniforms in sports. And I'm going to do it in particular to the particular sport at that time, okay? So I'm going to talk NBA, I'm going to talk NFL, and that's what we're going to do today, man. So hit your boy up on the chat line on Spreaker, as well as on Twitter, at The Doug Stewart Show. Let's have some fun talking about style and sports, all in honor of Oscar De La Renta, going home to glory. The upper room, Reggie's. Yes, R.I.P. to Oscar De La Renta. All right, up next on The Doug Stewart Show, we'll talk a little bit about Monday Night Football and the Steelers. I mean, you talking about needing a win. They needed a win, oh my gosh, in a big-time way. So we'll talk about Monday Night Football. We'll take your calls, read your chat, your tweets on style and sports, and whatever you want to get into in the world of sports, we can do it. This is The Doug Stewart Show. Don't go anywhere. This your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current meta-file, prescription savings, and a fully encompassed prepaid legal benefit that includes identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedugstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. All right, I know the deal. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it, and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one source, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on the link on thedugstewartshow.com or the app link for details. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running, but just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your boat. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Yes!
The personal ass kicker of Skip Bayless, Doug Stewart.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. I really appreciate you joining your folk. Did you tell 20 people yesterday? I really need you to tell 21 people. Yes, about the Doug Stewart Show, man. I really would appreciate it. The show is growing like crazy by leaps and bounds. We got meetings today to talk about business for the Doug Stewart Show. Me and my producer and one of my salespeople, Tree, we going out to meet people today. We've already got a couple of big deals already signed, some new advertisers. So join in with your boy and get some of this liveness and some of this love on the Doug Stewart Show. If you're a business owner out there and you'd like to partner with the show, we'd love to partner with you. Email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com and let's do some business. This segment is brought to you by Join 7. Join 7 is a protection group, and they protect against life's little mishaps. And so go to my website, thedugstewartshow.com, and click on their banner link and join 7. All right, so today we're talking a little bit about style in sports, kind of tied into the death of Oscar de la Renta, this big fashion designer, dressed a lot of the first ladies, or all of the first ladies in this country since Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. So that's what we're talking about today. All right, we're having a little fun with that. I'm going to give you some top fives and uniforms in the different sports, and also hit me up on the chat line on Spreaker, as well as on Twitter at the Doug Stewart Show, and talk about style in sports. I mentioned in the first subject, the first segment, about Michael Jordan and starting the whole thing with the baggy shorts, and the Fab Five came after him, and also, man, Michael Jordan's influence on the world of sports. You really know how many people, I don't know if you could do a study, or if there's any documented statistics out there. You know how many young people have lost their lives because of expensive sneakers? I mean, seriously, and this is kind of a sad, morbid twist to this conversation. I know it is. We're talking about Michael Jordan's and the way that the sneaker industry was just turned upside down after the first pair of Air Jordans came out. But really, when you think about it, man, you know how many kids have gotten killed over their Jordans and over their sneakers in general? Because the Jordans were the first sneakers that I can remember that were high-priced sneakers. Like before the Jordans, I don't remember sneakers being $60, which is crazy right now to say $60 was a lot, but that was I guess that was the time period and the economics of the situation back then when they first came out. But they're going for over $200 now, and kids get stuck up and take your damn sneakers off, man. Break yourself, homie, all the time for these sneakers, and I think you can really trace it back to the first Jordans. I don't remember people getting killed over sneakers, okay? I don't remember that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there was a pair of sneakers before the Jordans, a high-priced pair of sneakers before the Jordans that people stole from each other. I don't remember. So, yeah, huge influence on not just that industry, but life. I mean, life. You're talking about kids robbing other kids for their sneakers. I mean, I think it started all right there. Here's from Kevin. He says, Jordan started the baggy shorts, and the Fab Five took it to another level with about an extra 4 inches. And I think that may be the progression. Excuse me. I think that's right. I think Jordan started it, and then Chris Webber and Jalen Rose and Juwan Howard and those guys, they took it to a new level. Yes, they probably added 4 or 5 inches to it where it started looking like, them capris. They look like capris at some point. They're just too damn long at this point. Corporate brother, he says, Penn State football uniforms, simple blue and white, nothing fancy, just coming to beat you down. And not a big fan of the Penn State uniforms. They just too damn plain. I've never been a fan of the Penn State uniforms. Now, what I do respect, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, what I do respect is a uniform that hasn't changed. And you pretty much can look at the Penn State uniform, and it's the exact same as it was 40 years ago. Like, I think at some point they added a blue trim around the neck, and that's it. There's no, and you know what? When the new coach came in there, who's now actually the head coach for the Houston Texans, and his name is escaping me right now. When he came in there, because of all the controversy with Sandusky, he let them put names on the back of the jerseys, okay, which was something just unheard of in Penn State football. It was all about team. It wasn't about individuality. So Joe Paterno never let those guys put names on the back of the uniform. That was the biggest adjustment in the Penn State uniform probably in 50 years or maybe forever. Like, I'm thinking probably the Penn State uniform's been the same since 1920 or whatever. Yes. So we're talking about style in sports today, and also top 5 uniforms in sports. That's what we're having a little fun with. Last night, the Houston Texans, they take the loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers 30-23. The big thing about this game is Pittsburgh just fell behind early. They were down 13-0, and then they just poured it on. 24 unanswered points, man, last night for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they go on to win 30-23. Antonio Brown had a big game receiving the football last night for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 9 catches, 90 yards. He had a long run of 30 yards. And Pittsburgh, I said it earlier, the Steelers needed a win because the Steelers pretty much had been reeling. And I've read some emails. As a matter of fact, I just saw somebody put on my Twitter account, and he actually put this up there on yesterday, that Mike Tomlin needs to be fired. And I guess it's all because of the loss last week to the Cleveland Browns. I totally disagree with that. So right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 4-3 on their year. They're actually only 2 games out of first place. They did need a win, though, because you were starting to hear some grumblings about Mike Tomlin and his job. I don't agree with that at all, because Mike Tomlin's done a fantastic job. Now, I've always said that when you win a Super Bowl, you buy yourself a couple of years. And I think that's what Mike Tomlin's done. He's bought himself a couple of years, a couple of down years. And teams are going to struggle. They're going to go through changes. They're going to have to bring in new players, out with the old, in with the new, kind of like a transition type thing. And I think that's what you blame as far more so on what's going on with Pittsburgh right now, is they're just trying to get their talent level back up to what it normally is. And you know, Pittsburgh is one of those organizations. They don't just get rid of coaches, okay? They just don't. I mean, what do they have 3 coaches in their history over the last, 50 years, okay? So they don't just get rid of coaches. And so I think they're going to stand by Mike Tomlin, even if they do struggle this year. If they struggle mightily, maybe they'll look to make a move after next year. But I think Mike Tomlin's good for at least another year. So the Steelers get a win, and the Houston Texans have a horrible, horrible loss. Seeing what they did early in the first half, the rushing attack was working in the first half, very good. Arian Foster was doing his thing, 20 carries, 102 yards. Most of that came in the first half, but they shut his ass down in the second half, and so the Texans go down. One thing I was really looking forward to, and the news came out late yesterday, I was looking forward to seeing if Jadeveon Clowney was going to get on the field. And evidently, they're going to hold him out another week. It was questionable on whether he was going to play last night. Obviously, he did not play. So hopefully the young man from South Carolina native, can get on the field next week for the Houston Texans, paired up with J.J. Watt. If he's healthy, and I think everybody in America, all the football fans, are looking to see how dynamic a duo these guys can be in Houston, lined up together. And that's going to be fantastic to watch. I mean, you got J.J. Watt on one side and Clowney on the other. If you get the Jadeveon Clowney that we saw at his peak years at South Carolina, that's going to be just bananas. That's going to be bananas. All right, your Top 5 Tuesday, Top 5 uniforms in sports, the style show we're going to call today's show. Here's my Top 5 college football uniforms, all right? Number 5, FSU. Not so much FSU now. I don't like the new age numbers a lot of these teams are putting on their uniforms, and I don't even like that color scheme they got with the gold numbers on the uniforms right now. I don't even like the little small Seminole spears on the side of the helmets. They kind of changed their uniform over the last couple of years, but it's still live. I still like the uniform, and it's my number 5 college football uniform. Number 4, the Michigan Wolverines. And I don't know what the hell that thing on their helmet is, but it's live as hell. And Michigan's one of these teams, just like Penn State, that if you look at their uniform now compared to their uniform, 35, 40 years ago, when they had Anthony Carter out there wearing that number 1 on his jersey, the uniform hadn't changed at all. The uniform has not changed at all. So whatever the hell that thing on their helmet symbolizes, I guess it symbolizes a Wolverine. Kind of like Wolverine in the comic books. I guess that's what it symbolizes. I like it. I like it real fresh. Number 3, the Clemson Tigers. And I know a lot of people are like, huh? The Clemson Tigers? I love Clemson's orange. I mean, that's the best orange. I hate that burnt-ass orange they got in Texas. That's real whack and ugly to me. And here's the best-kept secret in uniforms. Clemson's purple uniform. Yes! When Clemson rolls up that purple uniform with the orange and the white mixed in, that might be the best uniform in college football. But they only roll it out every once in a while. Kind of like Notre Dame rolling out the green jerseys. They only do it once every blue moon. But I love Clemson's purple uniform. Number 2, USC Trojans. Yes, that Trojan uniform is just classic. Once again, another uniform that hasn't changed much in history. Just a classic uniform. I love the burgundy, love the yellow. I love the combination of those two colors. And so I got USC at number 2. And I just mentioned them a couple seconds ago. The number one, my number one uniform in college football is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I mean, classic as classic can be. Just beautiful. The gold helmets. And maybe I'm waxing poetic because that's my high school uniform helmet. We have the exact gold helmet. We've always had the gold helmet. And so I guess, I'm romanticizing a little bit about it. But yeah, Notre Dame's uniform is just classic. And something I think they've kind of updated a little bit is they've made that helmet sparkly. Like real gold and sparkly. Much more sparkly. Back in the day, it was kind of like an old gold, I guess you'd call it. But it seems like the helmet's sparklier, if that's a word. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my top 5 college football uniforms. Number 5, FSU. Number 4, Michigan. Number 3, Clemson. Number 2, USC. Number 1, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. All right, when we get back from the break, we'll grab some of your calls. We'll read some of your emails, some of your texts, and all of that type stuff, man. Sports Talk with Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Hot Sauce, and we're also going to mention some witch hunts going on right now in sports. I mean, just shameful. Shameful what the media does. The Doug Stewart Show. So you think you're a fantasy whiz, huh? Well, prove it and make some nice scratch at the same time. Scratch is money. What do you know about FanDuel? FanDuel packs the thrill of a whole season in 1 week. Play in 1 week fantasy football leagues for free money with immediate cash payouts. The money is real with no season-long commitment. That's huge because when your team starts to suck, you don't want to play no more. It's no more fun. Trade everybody. I've been there. You play when and how much you want. Deposit now and FanDuel will match it up to $200. Use the promo code COOLER, that's COOLER, and take advantage of free loot to get your game on. FanDuel, where every week is a new season. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running. But just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk dudes in America? By the way, I'm talking about myself. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty, people know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your boy. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers in compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you so they can get you the best possible settlements or solutions to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've also helped thousands of people, thousands, solve their tax problems. So don't play around. Click on their link on my website, thedougstewartshow.com, and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with our uncle. You know, Uncle Sam. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. We up in here. And thanks for joining you, folk. I really do appreciate it. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. 404-382-0338. And also, you can email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com if you're a company out there and would like to work with us. We would love to work with you. Email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. This segment is brought to you by Univon. Great long distance, not like you at your mama house. So check out their banner link on my webpage, thedugstewartshow.com. All right, we're talking about style in sports, kind of like a Dougie Daily question in honor of great Oscar de la Renta, dying fashion designer. He died. He kicked the bucket. 82 years old. I mean, he had a good run. I always say that. You lived to 82. You had a good-ass run. And he had a great run at living to the age of 82. But he was a fashion designer, so we're kind of playing off of that, talking about style in sports, some trendsetters in sports. How about your boy Allen Iverson? And I mentioned this for some other story. I think we were talking about not Jameis Winston. What's the kid name for the Washington Redskins? RG3, Robert Griffin III. And how he has the nasty-ass little braids, but now, or twists, and now they're braids, and how corny he looks. Like my boy Rob Parker said, you corny. He's a corny dude. But anyway, maybe that's what they do in their town. But he's doing it 10, 15 years too late. Allen Iverson had every basketball player in the NBA wearing braids. The only dudes that didn't wear braids, like there was no in between. There was no little teeny weeny afros or no little cropped short hairstyles. It was either you were wearing braids or you had a bald head. It was no in between. And Allen Iverson is solely, and I don't think it's even questionable, that AI started that trend of, NBA players, and then it funneled down to college players, then it funneled down to society and dudes walking around middle school and elementary school with braids. And it's all because of AI. You may not like him. You may not like his game. You can talk all you want about him, but that's true. I mean, there's no questioning that Allen Iverson had all of Black America in particular wearing braids. Yeah, so he was definitely a style setter in sports. All right, so that's what we're talking about today. We're also doing top 5 uniforms in sports. I just gave you my top 5 college football uniforms, and I absolutely love my list. I mean, my list is great. It's beautiful. I mean, I'd argue my list against anybody else's list. So I'll give you my NFLs, my baseball, my NBA list as well throughout today's show. I mentioned before we went to the break, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Make sure you tell 22 people. I mentioned before we went to the break about, witch hunts in sports. And the witch hunt, I think, continues to go on right now. And I'm going to go ahead and classify, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I'm going to go ahead and classify this thing going on with Jameis Winston as a witch hunt. And, once again, let me make sure that I preface everything I say about this story is I'm just like Jimbo Fisher. If the story changes, then my sentiment will change about it. All right. And first of all, I don't have a problem with dudes, getting some extra Skrilla, some cheddar or whatever, from their likeness and from their brand. Okay. So I'm totally against all these rules that the NCAA has about it. That being said, the rule is the rule right now. And if he shouldn't have been signing autographs, he shouldn't have done it. And it's, if they find out about it, he's going to be kicked off the team or suspended or whatever, and that's going to hurt his ball club. So it is what it is. I hate the whole premise of it, but we're not talking about that right now. If Jameis Winston is found to have signed these autographs and received illegal benefits, then it's going to hurt his ball club. That's what we're talking about. But this whole thing right now with the media continuing to basically go after Jimbo Fisher because he's supporting his player is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you haven't heard, Jimbo Fisher cut short a media interview Monday after he was asked whether his reputation was taking a hit because of star quarterback Jameis Winston's off-field issues. And he reiterated over and over and over, and he came in and he clarified his thoughts and why he ended this press conference saying, listen, man, and this is what I've said, and I totally respect Jimbo Fisher for this. The information we have right now is that he didn't take money, and we're going to stand by our player. We're going to stand by our kid. And I absolutely respect that. Now, he also said, just what I said a couple of seconds ago, that if the circumstances change and we get new information to the contrary, then we'll change our opinion at that time. What I don't understand is what's so hard to understand about that? I don't get it. It's almost like, and I said it a couple of days ago, it's like ESPN is really just digging, and they're trying to, it's almost like they're trying to go after Jameis Winston and find something that's going to basically get this kid kicked out of college, out of school. I've read several stories where it's been intimated that he should just quit, that he should just step down on his own. What? Why would you do something like that? Now, there's even a small chance that he didn't take money. Now, I doubt that very seriously, but there is a chance that Jameis Winston didn't get money. They can't prove it right now. He told them that he didn't. So back off this kid, man. Leave this alone. It's almost like, the media, the national media wants this guy just to leave and go away. And they want Florida State to wash their hands of this kid. I don't think it's right. And another story that's out there, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, another story that's out there is what's going on right now in Chicago with Brandon Marshall and some comments that he made after the game this past weekend, and when they lost their past game this weekend, and real tough loss, losing to the Miami Dolphins. And he made some comments talking about the positiveness of the team, how upbeat are they, how many guys care, how many guys have passion. He mentioned everybody on the offense except for Jay Cutler. But he didn't say Jay Cutler doesn't have passion or Jay Cutler isn't out there trying to win football games. He didn't say that. But now they're putting this story out there, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. They're making this story out there that Brandon Marshall subconsciously, inadvertently went after Jay Cutler. Huh? He didn't. He didn't do that. And it's always the media making a story where there is no story. And that's kind of like the situation with Jameis Winston, and it's kind of like the situation with Brandon Marshall, and I absolutely hate it. Just keep it real. Just report the facts. I mean, use your eyes, use your ears. Don't, throw all this innuendo out there, and he was really taking a shot at Jay Cutler? Huh? What? Not from that comment that he made at the press conference or the interviews that he did with the reporters in the locker room. No, he didn't say anything about Jay Cutler. Now, there's some questions out there. Some reporters claim to hear Brandon Marshall going off on Jay Cutler in the locker room. This was before the press was allowed to come in, and they talked to Brandon Marshall. But that's all hearsay. That's all he said, she said-ish. I mean, you don't know it. I mean, you don't got any facts. You don't got no facts. Don't even talk about it. That's where I stand. And we did this thing years ago. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. We did this thing years ago on the Doug Stewart Show, and maybe I'll get it pulled up, and I'll have it ready for Thursday, for a Throwback Thursday, for Classic Stew, called the Source Brothers. Okay? And it's one of the greatest bits in the history of radio bits. That's what I think. All right? And so if you're a Stu's listener, you know exactly what the bit I'm talking about. And it's basically a play on, the media. They always talk about these sources, and the source this, and the sources say, and one of our sources. And like, who the hell are these sources? Like, did they mama name them source? We need some names. We need some facts. Stop making up these stories to write about from these sources, basing everything on these sources. And I hate when stories are made up. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. And I know a lot of people that feel the same way. A lot of the people I talk to, like, man, that's some crap they talking about today. Where are they getting this from? Where are they getting it from? And it seems like it's out of control today. And because of media, and because everybody's trying to get a story, and everybody's trying to one-up each other and break news, that's what you have today. I'm not saying that guys are making up stories, but it's very suspect that they aren't. If they are or aren't. It's very suspect. A lot of these things that come out today, a lot of stories that are reported, and then you don't hear any more about it. But they don't do retractions. They do retractions in newspapers if they get factual information wrong. Okay, because it's in print, and because you can verify it, and you can say that said newspaper is wrong in the information that they reported. But when you're doing a radio show or you're on TV, unless it's so blatant, and you look so silly. You remember the story a couple of years ago when Ed Werder went after Terrell Owens? I can't even remember what the story was about, but Terrell Owens refuted it. He called out Ed Werder from ESPN, from the Puppet Factory, and he just went ham. Like, that's a lie. Show me your information. Show me your facts, this, that, and the other. And it kind of died away. It kind of died away. There was never a retraction. There was never any acceptance of responsibility as fact as getting the story wrong. It just died away. And that happens a lot in media, especially the formats of radio and TV. And not so much in print media because you know it's in print and it's verifiable. Okay, but yeah, I mean it happens all the time, and I absolutely hate it. Brandon Marshall didn't say anything negative to Jay Cutler to the press, not one thing. So why is it a story? Jameis Winston told his coach he didn't take money for the autographs. So why you keep pressing this guy? Why are you saying that Jimbo Fisher, his character is under question because he doesn't kick the guy off the team? I mean, the information he has, he shouldn't kick him off the team. Okay? And if you don't stand by your players, if you don't stand by your team, that resonates a long way with the team that you have. That also resonates with recruits and high school kids that are looking to come to play college football. So you can't go into a kid's living room and talk to them about, you know, being there for them and being a father figure and standing by them. And then that same kid watch you kick the player off the team to help you win a national championship. That single-handedly pretty much help you win a national championship. That just doesn't bode well. And so Jimbo Fisher's playing this exactly right. Much respect for him. Mark Richt's doing what he has to do in Georgia for different reasons. I think Mark Richt has more information than they have on Jameis Winston. I believe somebody straight, you know, dropping dime on Todd Gurley. So the stories are a little bit different. So I'm not mad at Mark Richt for doing what he thinks is right for his ball club. But, I mean, golly, man. I mean, come on. Stop making stuff up. Or stop putting stuff out there in the atmosphere that you can't prove or you can't verify. I mean, I just don't like that. I mean, it's crap. It's absolute crap. Yeah. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Yeah. I got in a little tirade just now because I hate that stuff. I mean, I absolutely hate it. And a lot of you out there feel the same way as me, and you watch it every day pretty much on TV and in radio. But guess what? I'm here to save the day, just like Underdog. Here I am to save the day. Yes. We're the realest, treeless sports talk show in America. Goes down every Monday through Friday from 11 to 1. Yes, and so we ain't gonna report nothing that's crap. And that's all innuendo. We're not gonna do that around here. We keeps it real. Yeah, that's what you're gonna get on this show. All right, up next on the Doug Stewart Show, I'm gonna drop you my top 5 baseball uniforms. Speaking of baseball, the World Series gets started tonight. The San Francisco Giants taking on the Kansas City Royals. You got James Shields versus Madison Bumgarner. And, I'm rooting for Kansas City. I'm rooting for Kansas City because I always say that I like to see stories with teams that haven't done anything for a long time. They show out and they shock the world. You know, I think that's a cute story of Kansas City wins that hadn't been to a World Series since 1985. Damn it, San Francisco got enough damn championships and World Series rings. Let somebody else get one. All right, up next on the Doug Stewart Show. We'll grab some of your calls. I'll read some of your tweets. I'll give you my top 5 baseball uniforms in Major League Baseball. And we'll also talk a little bit about, you know, the Cavs, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Speaking of which, they may make a cameo appearance in my list for NBA uniforms a little bit later. Style and sports. It's the Doug Stewart Show. So you think you're a fantasy whiz, huh? Well, prove it and make some nice scratch at the same time. Scratch is money. What you know about FanDuel? FanDuel packs the thrill of a whole season in 1 week. Play in 1 week fantasy football leagues for free money with immediate cash payouts. The money is real with no season-long commitment. That's huge because when your team starts to suck, you don't want to play no more. It's no more fun. Trade everybody. I've been there. You play win and how much you want. Deposit now and FanDuel will match it up to $200. Use the promo code COOLER, that's COOLER, and take advantage of free loot to get your game on. FanDuel, where every week is a new season. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running. But just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk dudes in America? By the way, I'm talking about myself. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty, people know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your boy. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers in compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you so they can get you the best possible settlements or solutions to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've also helped thousands of people, thousands, solve their tax problems. So don't play around. Click on their link on my website, thedugstewartshow.com, and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with our uncle. You know, Uncle Sam.
His realness on radio has been banned across America, except for Dodge City, Kansas. The Doug Stewart Show.
This is the Doug Stewart Show. I really, really, really appreciate you joining your boat. And we doing the damn thing around here Monday through Friday from 11 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So tell 23 people. You see how I systematically go up one every single time? I just went up one 10 minutes ago. But yes, I need you now to tell 23 people about the livest, the most interactive, the most fun sports talk show in America. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. And you can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. This segment is brought to you by AmeriCommerce. All you need to get your online store off the ground right. Yes. So go to thedugstewartshow.com, click on their banner link, and, get your business off right, man. You got to do it. You got to build up from the foundation, from the bottom to the top, and start off right with AmeriCommerce. All right, so we're talking about style in sports. And I'm also giving you my top 5 uniforms in sports. I gave you my college football one earlier. And so let me go ahead and drop this baseball one on you. We're talking about the top 5 uniforms in sports. That's what I'm doing on this Top 5 Tuesday. As well as we're talking about trendsetters, style setters in the world of sports in honor of Oscar de la Renta, great fashion designer, dead, sleeping with the fishes, taking a dirt nap. All of that. But he was a great designer. Yes, he was a great designer. So we kind of meshed that into what we do around here and talk a majority of sports. So we're having a little fun with that. And I talked about Michael Jordan earlier with the shoes, with the Air Jordans, as well as the baggy shorts. Somebody hit me a little bit earlier and talked about Dennis Rodman. And I don't think that really qualifies because nobody went and painted their hair green like Dennis Rodman did when he was going through that midlife crisis or whatever the hell he was doing those last couple of years in the NBA where he started painting his hair or coloring his hair. So I don't think that qualifies what we talked about because nobody else followed that style. You see what I'm saying? When AI went with the braids or came into the league with the braids, everybody jumped on board with that. Everybody. Carmelo just cut his like last year. Like Carmelo was one of the last holdouts for the braids, but even he let him go. And it wasn't last year. It was probably Carmelo's been without the braids probably 3 or 4 years now. But RG3, no. He's what they call a Bama. He's a Bama. Yeah. And, hey, listen. He's a Bama, man. I mean, this dude, he looks so, Oh my gosh. But anyway, yeah, RG3 still hanging on to his braids, Pippi Longstocking twists, whatever it is. He looks a mess. And I contend he is going to be mad at himself in 30 years when he goes back and look at his Heisman painting and his pictures with those damn little braids. This kid's going to be like, Daddy, what the hell were you thinking? Why did you get a haircut? Daddy, what? Was that in style? Was that in style? No, it wasn't in style. The only person it was in style to was the RG3, evidently, and wherever the hell he's from in Texas. I don't get it. All right, 404-382-0338. Yo, Doug, here in New York City, we call fake stuff Chuck. You're not representing, oh no, Chuck. Okay, I like that. Talking about what I was talking about a little bit earlier about these fake stories seemingly made up and these fake controversies. That may be the better way to even term it. When you just throw out controversies out there to have stuff to talk about. And sometimes in this industry, there aren't titillating, tantalizing stories out there. And so you find yourself reaching, I think you find some of these media outlets reaching for a story, something that people are going to click on the link on their website or something that they're going to tune into. So they make things up. And I really believe that. From Eugene Jackson, he says, 2,000 autographs. Come on, you know money changed hands. Winston is guilty. Give Notre Dame their win. Now, Mr. Jackson, okay, if that's your name, never said I don't think the kid didn't take money. As a matter of fact, the kid would be a fool if he didn't take the money. Yes, I do believe that, but that's my personal opinion, and it doesn't seem right that you got all of these autographs and sequence and the same pin. Yes, it seems like that he took money, but here's the thing. He'd be a dummy. He'd be an even bigger dummy if he didn't take money. But here's the thing. You can't prove it. And guess what? There is that 1%, 2% chance that he didn't take money. You know that people have been exonerated and released from jail for allegedly raping somebody 30 years ago, and then there's new DNA evidence now that we didn't have technology that we didn't have then that shows they didn't do said crime? Okay, so don't act like people are shown to be guilty and proven to be guilty and aren't guilty. It happens all the time, okay? So I do think, just like you, Mr. Jackson, that Jameis Winston got paid for these autographs. But we aren't sure. We aren't the police. This isn't a court of law. The man may not have done it. I would have done it. But, hey, there's a small, slim chance that he didn't. So get off that man's back. Yes, this is the Doug Stewart Show, 404-382-0338. All right, my top 5 uniforms in baseball in the major leagues. Number 5, the New York Yankees. Now, I know a lot of people may have the Yankees uniform higher on their list. Classic uniform, once again, another uniform that hadn't changed in forever. But I really don't like the pinstripes. And I know they're known and they're unique, and that's what the Yankees are all about the pinstripes. And you've even seen other teams try to mimic the pinstripes. You remember the New Orleans Hornets? They had pinstripes in their uniforms. The Indiana Pacers have had pinstripes in their uniforms. I think the pinstripes is just a Yankee thing. And if you try to put pinstripes in your uniform, I think you look silly. So Yankees and pretty much probably the most popular sports cap in sports cap history is Yankees. You got, everybody named Mama, Jay-Z wearing a Yankees cap. He said, I made a Yankee cap more famous than the Yankees did or whatever. So the Yankees come in number 5 for me. Number 4, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Love the Pirates uniform. And a common theme to a lot of my selections as far as favorite uniforms on this Top 5 Tuesday is the color black. I just think the color black in a uniform, especially when it's dominant and when it's bold, is just so nasty and it's so live. All right, so in a couple of my list, you'll see I make mention of a lot of uniforms that got black as the main color in it. So number 4, I like the Pittsburgh Pirates. Number 3, the Oakland A's. Love the A's uniform. Love that yellow and green combination for the Oakland A's. Number 2, and this is a wild card, and this is one that most baseball aficionados and old school baseball guys probably are not going to agree with me with, but I don't care. I'm not an old school baseball guy. I just think their uniform is real fly. is the Miami Marlins. Yes, I love the Marlins uniform, especially the black uniform, okay? The all-black uniform with the black hat. Their color pattern kind of says gay pride. That's neither here nor there, and that's their business if it is. But I love the uniform. I like the new logo. They've changed their logo and the uniform over the last couple of years, so I like the Miami Marlins. And number one, and I've mentioned this a couple of times over the last couple of weeks because they were in the news, but the Baltimore Orioles with the black and the orange, as well as the little cartoon Oriole logo. Absolutely love it. Yes. So those are my top 5 uniforms in the world of sports on this Top 5 Tuesday. Our top 5 uniforms in baseball. The Yankees, Pittsburgh, the A's, the Oakland A's, number 3. The Miami Marlins at number 2. And the Baltimore Orioles at number 1. All right? So let's talk about style in sports. Yeah, having a good time with that. And that's what we do around here is we have a good time. And it may necessarily be sports. We're going to talk sports. Obviously, that's what we do. But sometimes we get off subject. This is quote unquote a sports show, but damn it, we talk about everything: pop culture, entertainment, whatever you want to talk about, we'll do it on this show. Sports talk with hot sauce, Texas Pete hot sauce. It's the Doug Stewart Show. All right, so when we get back from the break, we'll talk a little bit about Monday Night Football. The Blade Runner is in the news. He going to jail without the bail. All we need is the fat boys in there. He going to jail. You just can't kill people's daughters and think you're not going to do any time. So we'll talk about that up next on the Doug Stewart Show. Keep it locked. What is 9/11 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers in compromise or penalty abatements. 9/11 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So don't play around. Click on the link on my website and let 9/11 Tax Relief help you in your situation with our uncle, better known as Sam. So you think you're a fantasy whiz, huh? Well, prove it and make some nice scratch at the same time. Scratch is money. What you know about FanDuel? FanDuel packs the thrill of a whole season in 1 week. Play in 1 week fantasy football leagues for free money with immediate cash payouts. The money is real with no season-long commitment. That's huge because when your team starts to suck, you don't want to play no more. It's no more fun. Trade everybody. I've been there. You play win and how much you want. Deposit now and FanDuel will match it up to $200. Use the promo code COOLER, that's COOLER, and take advantage of free loot to get your game on. FanDuel, where every week is a new season. I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out, "I know you better not be talking long distance running up my bill with that little hussy girl." Well, get with the times with your long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60 plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedougstewartshow.com or the link on the dougstewartshow.com app. Try out Univon and call your peoples like you not at your mama house.
Punching you in the gut with that real sports talk, like Mike Tyson. It's the Doug Stewart Show.
Just like Mike Tyson punching you in your gut with that real sports talk. Yes, this is the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining you, folk. I really do appreciate it. And it is a Top 5 Tuesday, talking about the top 5 uniforms in sports. Having a lot of fun with that. Also talking about style in sports in honor of Oscar de la Renta, fashion designer, 82 years old. He had to go home to Jesus. He's gone. He's gone. And so we're kind of honoring him and his work, his life's work, and meshing it with sports. And so we're talking uniforms and style, and Allen Iverson in the braids, and RG3 with the nasty-ass braids and twists or whatever it is, and Michael Jordan with the shorts. You know, talking about style and sports. When I was a kid, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and this segment is brought to you by 911 Tax Relief. Get Uncle Sam off your back. Check out their banner link on my website, thedougstewartshow.com. And you don't want to mess with Sam, so get Uncle Sam off your back. When I was a kid, playing Little League football, the Tony Dorsett cleats. And I don't know if they still make them. I don't even know if kids have them today. I haven't really paid attention. I don't think they do, because I go to a lot of Little League football games. My daughter's a cheerleader. And so I don't see any of the Dorsetts out there. And clearly, the kids of today don't know who the hell Tony Dorsett is, so it's not a big deal to him. You know, I guess maybe they're trying to get Adrian Peterson cleats or Arian Foster cleats. I don't know. But when I was growing up, and if you're listening to the show and you played Little League football, you could relate to this. I mean, but the Tony Dorsett cleats were the things that you wanted to have, especially at one of the skill positions, if you were a running back or if you were a wide receiver. And the thing that set them apart is they had this big-ass tongue. And I don't know, maybe it wasn't even Tony Dorsett's cleats. But I know Dorsett wore them. Maybe someone else had them first. And I think they were made by Converse. And Dorsett had them. And they had this big-ass tongue. Let me tell you something, man. Let me just tell you something right now. If you had a pair of Tony Dorsett cleats when you were a kid in 1977, okay, you were what they call the ish. And guess what? It's almost like that scenario where you go to the court and you see a dude in an entire NBA uniform and he got on Jordans but got no game. You can't wear the Dorsets, so you couldn't wear the Dorsets unless you were the best player on the field. It almost is like, damn it, you sorry. Take off them Dorsets. That's what it was like. So you talk about setting a style trend. Oh, man. Can you feel me? Can you feel me on the Dorsett cleats back in the mid-70s? Yes. Yes. They were huge. They were huge, man. And, of course, I had some of the Dorsets. Yeah, of course I did. And I remember I was kind of like one of the first kids in our league that got Nike cleats. This is before Nike hit. This is before the Nike Cortez. And I had these black Nike cleats, and they had the white little Nike swoop. And I don't know where my pops got them from. But, you know, it's funny. We always talk about, or we've been talking today about style in sports. I don't know where the axiom came from, look good, play good, but I've been living by look good, play good for 40 years. And I think that even back in the 1970s, my teammates with the Monks Corner Cowboys, we always talked about looking good and playing good, and having our little wristbands, and having our Dorsett cleats, and having, you know, I don't know what else we wore, the eye black. You know, if you had eye black back in the mid-70s, you were also a player. That also denoted that you were a player, because every kid didn't need to shade his eyes from the sun. Only the kids that produced. Yeah, hey kid, you on the bench. Why you got eye black on? Or hey kid, you on the end of the bench. You getting ass splinters from bench wood, okay? Why you got on Dorsets? Yeah, so we're talking about style and sports, and so that's exactly what we're getting into, what we're talking about today on the Doug Stewart Show. Last night, man, the Houston Texans go down to the Pittsburgh Steelers, 30-23. Big night for Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown has had at least 5 catches and 80 receiving yards in all 7 games so far this season. And you're talking about a breakout guy. The Steelers let Mike Wallace go to Miami, and Antonio Brown stepped up. And I guess maybe they saw it in him. They saw that this guy had so much potential, and he's playing fantastic. I mean, he's one of the top tier players, especially definitely in the AFC. He's a guy that you talk about as one of the top 5, 6, 7 receivers in the NFL. I think you could say that. And talking about style, how about Antonio Brown coming out last night for the post-game press conference with the guys on set at ESPN, Ray Lewis and Steve Young and Dilfer and all of those guys with the little, with the Dick Tracy hat on. You know, I don't know what the technical term for those hats are. I got a few of them. My uncle used to make them real stylish back in the day. But, yeah, Antonio Brown was dressed to the T last night. He showed some style. He showed some real style. Ray Lewis even commented, "You look good, boy." You look real good. Look good, play good. All right, and if you're a coach of a Little League football team out there, take a note from Antonio Brown's book and from my book. Look good, play good. Get your kid in some Dorsets if he's a player. If he's a real player, he deserves Dorsets or whatever the sneaker is today or the cleat is today for kids. Yes. Separate your kid from all of the suck kids that play football right now that can't play. You know, don't have your kid out there if he's a baller, if he's a bona fide baller, dressed like all of the other kids that suck. Give your kid some style, you know? Give your kid a little bit of style. The number is 404-382-0338, 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You talk about style in sports. How about the starter jackets? The starter jackets, was that 85, 86-ish, 84-ish? The mid-'80s when the starter jackets hit. And from what I understand, they're still in business right now, but obviously don't have the effect on society like they did in the mid-'80s. And you're talking about something else that led to the death of a lot of kids in America. Starter jackets. And it's something that we can't even explain to young people, but starter jackets, Jordans, high-priced sneakers, all of that stuff started right in the mid-'80s. It did. It's nothing new. And I don't really hear so much talk about it anymore. Maybe it's just not something that they report on anymore because we're so used to it. But that was a big thing growing up in the 80s, was people stealing starter jackets as well as Jordans and high-priced sneakers subsequently. In Charleston, the big city, that's the real big city where I'm from, 20 minutes from North Charleston, my hometown. But in Charleston back in the mid-'80s, and people listening from the low country will recognize this and relate, they used to steal X glasses. People used to get killed over X glasses. Now, it's hard to even explain to you if you don't know what X glasses is. I think that might be the street term or the name for them. But X glasses are, used to call them Malcolms. They also used to call them Malcolms, or they used to call them X's. And they were Malcolm X glasses, but they were gold frames. And I can't even start to tell you how many people lost their lives over the Malcolms back in the 80s, maybe even early 80s. Yeah, so style and fashion and trends and, you know, and once again, I know I said it earlier, but let me reiterate it. I hate to bring a morbid conversation to what's supposed to be a jolly thing, but it just makes me think, and that's real. And I'm thinking about style and some of these styles and some of these trends that we had growing up back in the day, and it led to some of that conversation about guys getting stuck up for their sneakers and for their Malcolms and for their starter jackets. You can put all of those in one basket, and that's what went down in the 80s in the low country of South Carolina. Maybe we'll have a show one day about you know, things cats got stuck up for. You know, because maybe it's different in your town or in your city. You know, in New York City, from what I can tell from movies and TV, they used to rob people for gold chains, and that pretty much is spread across America. But yeah, they even made a movie about it. I'm going to get you, sucker. You know, about stealing gold chains. So maybe we'll do a show on that and have a Dougie Daily on that. What used to get stolen in your hometown from dudes? You know, right off their back. This is the Doug Stewart Show, man. The funnest show in America. You can hit me up at 404-382-0338. And on this show a lot, we reminisce. We talk about the good old days. This, you know, we do Throwback Thursday on Thursday. But really on this show, we reminisce about good old days, good old times in sports, old uniforms, old styles, Jordans, nasty-ass braids. We talk about it all on this show. Yes, this is the Doug Stewart Show. 404-382-0338. And obviously, The Steelers get a win last night. We mentioned a little bit earlier about Mike Tomlin and is he on the hot seat or not on the hot seat? And I don't think so. Getting back to the game, I don't think so because Mike Tomlin's done great things. He has a real coach demeanor, almost to a character status, where he gives these little speeches and he's non-committal and shows no emotion, and you can't tell if he's high or if he's low, but he is the epitome of a coach. Got a Super Bowl championship, so I think Mike Tomlin's fine, even if the Steelers do struggle proceeding through the rest of this season. I think he's a guy that's with a great organization that doesn't go through coaches like no other team really in sports. Okay, you're talking Chuck Noll, you're talking Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. They've had 3 coaches in the last 40 years. Chuck Noll was mid-70s. I don't know when Chuck Noll started his career with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've had 3 coaches, and that's unheard of in today's sports, where one organization has had 3 coaches in 40-plus years. That's very commendable, and we always talk about great owners in sports, and the Rooneys definitely go into that category. Yeah, I mean, stability. You got to have stability. And right now, because some coaches have done some things very fast and some players have come on and won games very quickly, i.e. Russell Wilson, look at Pete Carroll as well as the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, you rarely see a coach get a chance to turn things around. It's either win now or damn it, you fired. And I kind of hate that about today's sports. But Mike Tomlin, he's with, the greatest, team in that regard that we can think of. So he's going to be fine unless they just fall apart and they lose the rest of their games and in an ugly fashion or something like that. I think Mike Tomlin is fine. All right, up next on the Doug Stewart Show, we're still talking about style in sports in honor of Oscar de la Renta, the fashion designer, dying, and kind of twisted it into a sports conversation as well. So we're talking about that as well as top 5 uniforms in sports. Doing that too. Taking your calls, I'm reading your chat and your tweets, and we'll do all of that. And we'll get into a lot more of that in the next segment. When we get back, how about this? I got you my top 5 NBA uniforms. Which NBA uniforms are kind of tough because they're pretty basic. It's really just colors, no real style, no real logo that you can identify with. But we'll talk about my top 5 NBA uniforms up next on the Doug Stewart Show. And also, we'll talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers a little bit. I meant to do it a little bit earlier. Kind of jumped to something else. But the Cavaliers, I mean, they're kind of like in mid-season form already, and it's just preseason. Don't go away. It's the Doug Stewart Show.
I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house. Calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out, "I know you better not be talking long distance running up my bill with that little hussy girl." Well, get with the times with your long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60-plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on the DougStewartShow.com or the link on the DougStewartShow.com app. Try out Univon and call your peoples like you not at your mama house. All right, I know the deal. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it, and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one source, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on the link on the DougStewartShow.com or the app link for details. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running, but just like every company, we need sponsors. Would Joe's like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at you both. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Yes!
His sports talk is bigger than Robert Newhouse's thighs. Doug Stewart.
This is the Doug Stewart Show. Yes, the livest, most interactive sports talk show in America. Man, I really need you to tell 25 people about the livest, most interactive sports talk show in America. Once again, in America. In the world, as a matter of fact. It's just that people in other parts of the world may not even know about the show. So if you got a cousin in, I don't know, Russia or Spain or Antigua or Japan or Nigeria, call them and tell them that they can listen to the Doug Stewart live online at the Doug Stewart Show. All right. At the Doug Stewart Show is on Twitter, and the DougStewartShow.com is out there as well. We got our own app, Spreaker.com. So pass the word on the livest, most fun show in radio and online. All right, the number is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@thedugstewartshow.com. And this segment is brought to you by FanDuel, one-day fantasy sports for as low as $1. If you register for FanDuel, make sure you go to the DougStewartShow.com and register. Click on our banner link. It would really help your boy out. Yeah, just don't arbitrarily go and sign into FanDuel and play it. I've been telling you about it for months. Go to my website and click on that link. No other link. That link on the DougStewartShow.com to get down with this FanDuel. A lot of fun. We just sent out the invitations to my fantasy basketball league, the Two Live Stews Fantasy Basketball League. So we got our draft, I think, this Sunday. The season starts next week. I'm a guy that we do our draft the last minute because we don't want to, pick players and the guy gets hurt the next day in preseason. So we never do that. We always try to wait till the very last minute. All right, you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Let me read a couple of these messages on Spreaker.com. Let's see who we got here. We got Jersey Vern. He says, Doug, how about those locks on players' heads? Ugly. I'm more okay with the locks, especially if they clean and they look good. I think they can look good. Some of them look real nasty and silly looking. But that's the day and time we're living in. Not a clean-cut look, like I grew up with. But you know what? My locks and my dreadlocks in my time was a nice, greasy-ass Jerry curl. So, things change with the times. I really don't have a problem with dreadlocks. I got a problem with RG3's dreadlocks, if that's what they call. I got a problem with them, but I don't have a problem with dreadlocks in general. JB Jennings, he says, Doug, good to see you back on radio. Best damn sports show in America. That's exactly what he put. Thank you very much, my man, JB. Thank you very much for those kind words. And also from JB Jennings, he says, RG3 is a straight clown for them braids and those corny action figures. Yeah. Remember when they first talked about RG3 and his socks? And they did a story on it on the Puppet Factory, and they talked about his socks. And I said to myself, this ninja's corny as hell. I said that before Rob Parker. I didn't say all the other disparaging stuff about RG3 that Rob Parker is on record saying. I don't agree with all of that stuff and talking about is he black enough, this, that, and the other. I think that was way overboard. That was ridiculous. But I 100% agree on the corniness of RG3. From Earl. My favorite baseball uniforms are the Yankees and the A's. Okay, I gave my list a little bit earlier. I had the Yankees at 5, and I think I had the A's at 3. We're talking about top 5 uniforms in sports on this Top 5 Tuesday. From Roderick Pinson, he says, I like the Pirates box top caps and the Falcons when Glanville put them in black. I like, you remember when the Falcons changed their uniform? Ooh, this was probably 10 years ago when they went from the old Falcons uniform to the new one. They used to do a color scheme with it all black, and I said that earlier. I like the black color scheme on pretty much any uniform, but I don't really think that the Falcons have been going all black over the last couple of years. I don't know why, but I remember when they changed the uniform, they went to the new, more modernized logo on the helmet and the new modernized numbers and what have you. I really like that. The Falcons needed a uniform change because the logo on the helmet was just too drab and it was too 1960-ish, okay? So I like that. But they don't really do all black no more, not that I can recall. From Kendo says, man, X glasses, that's a flashback, okay? Yeah, if you're just joining me, I talked about the Malcolm glasses that they used to wear back in the day in the low country, and maybe it was more so in other parts of the country as well. But they were these gold frame Malcolm X glasses. A lot of times they didn't even have frames in them. They didn't have lenses in them. And people used to get robbed for them all the time. That was like a big style trend type thing back where I grew up at. From Kendo, Doug, you're right. The gold frames, some bros wore them without the lenses. Okay. From Indie Mew Radio, he says Triple Fat Goose in Detroit. Yes, and Triple Fat Gooses were not just in Detroit. That's pretty much anywhere that was cold. If you had one of those fat gooses with the fur around the neck in the hood, you would have ished too. Back in 1985, 86, during the hip hop era, the breakdancing era. Yeah, if you had a triple fat goose, you would have, man. From Terrence, stylish athletes, Deion Sanders, unstylish, Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook thinks he's stylish? But he looks silly. He looks very silly out there. Somebody needs to talk to him, but he is definitely not stylish. And Conrad says leather bombers, suede pumas, manhood. Back in the day in the Bronx, if you couldn't fight, you would get jacked. Yes. And spending a lot of time in New York City. I don't know if I've talked about it a lot on the show, but me and my brother used to go and stay with my aunt in Queens, New York. Cambria Heights, 222nd Street. We used to go and stay with her at least 2 weeks every summer, and basically that's when my mom and daddy would get rid of our ass. So a lot of influence, a lot of style, a lot of stuff we picked on. When you're from the South, you always respect New York City, the big city. That's what they used to call it where I'm from. They never called it New York. They always used to say the city. And when you said the city, you were referring to New York City, okay? And so, yeah, all the fashion styles, the hip-hop trends prevalent that took place in the 80s, yeah, we were on top of all of that. I mean, we could have a show on that, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. When you talk about the colored leaves and the bomber jackets and the sheepskin coats and the matching hats and all of that stuff, the Cassell glasses, all of that stuff, we were on top of all of that, and we save up our money and try to bring back one pair of Lees down south. Okay? Yeah, where we're from, when you talked about New York City, you just said the city. And then people in New York, they never called it, we're going to South Carolina or North Carolina. They say we're going down south. And that's just the way it was. I don't know if it's still like that today. But, yeah, I can definitely identify with the goose jackets and all of the haberdashery styles from New York City. And we're talking about style today on the Doug Stewart Show. Oscar De La Renta passed away. And so we're having a little fun with style and also giving you your top five. On your Top 5 Tuesday, top 5 uniforms in sports. How about my top 5 uniforms in the NBA? Number 5, the Chicago Bulls. Number 4, the New York Knicks. Number 3, the Charlotte Hornets. And I don't like their font they have on their numbers, but that teal and that purple is just real live. Number 2, the Los Angeles Lakers. They should be number 1, but I don't like their new modernized numbers and uniforms. And they never wear really the purple uniform. It seems like they wear the gold uniform and they wear the white on Sundays. I'm a Laker fan, so it really hurts me not to put them at number 1. But, yeah, the Lakers number 2 as far as uniforms. And my number one NBA uniform, and I know this is going to be a shock to a lot of people. I know it is, but I keeps it real. My number 1 NBA uniform is none other than the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's right. The new Cleveland Cavaliers uniforms that they've been wearing or just started wearing over the last couple of years. I absolutely love that gold and that burgundy color or whatever color they call that burgundy-looking thing with the dark gold uniforms or the bright gold uniforms, and they have Cavs written across the front in the burgundy color, okay? I absolutely love that uniform. They don't wear it enough. Sometimes when they go on the road, they have these alternate uniforms, and they have Cavaliers written across the front. And it's hard for me to even explain, but I don't like that one. But the particular uniform, when they're at home, and they have the gold uniform with the burgundy letters that say Cavs, that uniform is tight. And like I said earlier, you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. It's not really a lot that we can discuss as far as uniforms in the NBA because they're always basic. Just a color scheme, as well as the name written across the front. So it's not like baseball where you got the logos, or the NFL where you got logos and you got colors and this, that, and the other. So it's not a lot that goes with NBA uniforms. But I'm going to give you my top 5 NFL uniforms coming up in a short minute. So stay tuned for that. I didn't even get a chance to mention it, but I'll talk about it right now quickly. And when we get back from the break, I promise we'll briefly talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Speaking of which, who I like the uniform best out of any in the NFL. We're talking about the Cavs, and they had a preseason game last night against the Chicago Bulls. And wow, I mean, I think a lot of casinos in Las Vegas got the Cavs winning it all this year. And they're doing something that hasn't happened with this type of team put together or thrown together over the last couple of years. And we'll get into that when we get back from the break, all right? And we'll grab more of your calls. I'll read more of your texts, more of your chat on Spreaker.com. It's Sports Talk with Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Hot Sauce, the funnest show in America, The Doug Stewart Show.
The Doug Stewart Show is off and running. But just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your folk. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Yes! This your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-file, prescription savings, and a fully encompassed prepaid legal benefit that includes identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedugstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out, I know you better not be talking long distance running up my bill with that little hussy girl. Well, get with the times with your long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60-plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedugstewartshow.com or the link on the DougStewartShow.com app. Try out Univon and call your peoples like you not at your mama house.
There's a war going on outside, no man is safe from. There's a war going on outside.
What you gonna do when you get out of jail? I'm gonna listen to Dougie. It's the Doug Stewart Show.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. I really appreciate you joining your folk and staying tuned and telling people about the livest, the most interactive show in America. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me, Doug@thedugstewartshow.com. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, @The Doug Stewart Show. If you're a company out there and you'd like to partner with us, man, we'd love to partner with you. And we're signing sponsors. We're getting down with people. They're getting down with us. Yes. So if you are a company and you have a brand or a product or something you'd like to get out there and you think this would be a good fit, sports and guy talk in Atlanta and nationally as well, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com and let's do some business. We're talking about style and sports. And also, one thing, I got to mention this. This segment is brought to you by 911 Tax Relief. Get Uncle Sam off your back. Check out 911 Tax Relief on my website, thedougstewartshow.com. We're talking about style and sports. Kind of twisted into this conversation about notable fashion designer Oscar de la Renta dying at the age of 82. He actually clothed every first lady in this country since Jacqueline Kennedy. That's a long-ass time. So having a little fun, the way we twist things on this show to make it sports-related, that's what we're doing. So we're talking about top 5 uniforms on this Top 5 Tuesday in sports, as well as guys that set styles and trends in sports. And we mentioned Michael Jordan with the baggy shorts, Michael Jordan with the sneakers, Allen Iverson with the braids, the Fab Five with the shorts in college basketball. They really took what Michael Jordan did to the next level. I mean, really probably a little bit too much. So we're having a little fun with that today on the Doug Stewart Show. I've been mentioning this a couple of segments now, but let me go ahead and talk about it quickly. The Cleveland Cavaliers, man, last night, 107-98 over the Chicago Bulls. And the thing about this game to me is it really struck me, and it's really kind of like the first time I noticed the season doesn't start for, I believe, until early next week. So we're almost a week away from the start of the season. But it always amazes me how much minutes these guys play in basketball. That's one thing. And the second thing is I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are gelling much quicker than most people thought. All right, we've seen these teams thrown together over the last couple of years, and same thing with the Miami Heat when LeBron got down there. It took them damn near a third of the season to get on the same page. You can say the same thing about the Lakers when they brought Steve Nash in and Dwight Howard. They really never meshed. That never really worked out. But last night, the Cavaliers looked like they were in midseason form. Kyrie Irving playing 39 minutes, scoring 28 points. LeBron James, 32 minutes, 18 points. Kevin Love played 38 minutes. He only had 9 points. But these guys, they played against the Bulls team who most people think, or most of these experts think, can vie for an NBA championship with a healthy Derrick Rose. And so they beat them. And you're talking about a Bulls team that's at full strength. They picked up Pau Gasol in the offseason. Pau Gasol. Then you got Joakim Noah and Derrick Rose and Kirk Heinrich. So this is their squad. Taj Gibson coming off the bench. So this is kind of like a prerequisite to what most people feel will be the NBA Finals and the Cavs and the Bulls. Now, it's just preseason, but if you watch some of the highlights, if you watch the game, I've got that NBA package, then these teams pretty much look like the teams you're going to see on the floor this year. So very interesting. I say it all the time. The NBA is fantastic. Can't wait till the season starts. One thing that I put out there before, you remember when they had the lockout a couple of years ago and the season didn't start until Christmas Day? I really wish they would do that. I really wish they would do that. You're talking about changes in sports. That's a good change because I remember that Christmas Day was just so hype when they started the season on Christmas Day. And let's just be honest. You only got 2 eyes. You can't watch everything. And so when the NBA season starts, you really don't start watching NBA until, the NFL is over. At least I do. I know, speaking for myself. It's hard to get into, the NBA. It's an 82-game season. It's a long-ass season. You pretty much know who's going to be in the playoffs based on the rosters and what they did the year before and the depth and that type of thing. So I find myself not really tuning in. I watch a lot of highlights. If the Lakers play, I'll watch the Lakers. I got the package, like I said, so I'll watch the Lakers every single day. I try to watch all of the Hawks games as well. But you really can't watch everything. You can't watch everything. So I'll watch, if it's not Thursday night, Monday night, Sunday night, or Saturday, where I watch college football in the NFL on those days. If there's a game on a Tuesday night or something like that, or Wednesday night, of course, I'm watching. That's what I do. But let's just keep it real. You only got 2 eyes. You only got 2 eyes. So I really think it would be a great thing if they started that season in December on Christmas Day. I think that would be great. It'd add a lot of conversation to the NBA. People would really look forward to it. You know, I really think that would be a good thing, even though you still got the Super Bowl to come up in January. But I think that would be a great thing. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. The number is 404-382-0338. From Scotty, he says, damn, I used to date a girl on 221st Street. My aunt lived on 230th. Huh. You know any Johnsons over there? That's my aunt's name. And the family name is Johnson on 222nd Street. From Chucktown Frank, he says, Celtics uniforms are the best. No, I disagree with that. Celtics almost kind of like the Penn State conversation. You know, just a plain ass, and that's, once again, I said it earlier, it's not a lot of sexiness to NBA uniforms for the most part. Eugene, what, you sound like a LeBron James fanboy? Cleveland uniform? No, I just like the uniform. Definitely not a LeBron James fanboy. Have buried the hatchet with LeBron James, though. I have said that if you're new to the show, much different thought on LeBron James as I've had over the last couple of years. But no, definitely not a LeBron James fanboy or whatever you called it. Chucktown Frank, simply because Bird wore it and Lenny Bias wore it as well. Lenny Bias didn't wear no Celtic uniform. Or you're saying he would have worn a Celtic uniform. I guess so, because Len Bias didn't wear nobody's uniform in the NBA. Something kind of happened before that. Let's see. Also, who we got here? From Lacasmus. He says, Doug, how could you not put the Lakers at number 1? The new Hollywood Knights black, gold, and purple is so fresh. I don't like the Lakers black uniform. I don't like it. And I said all day long how much I like black uniforms. For some reason, I don't like the Lakers black uniform with the purple and gold on it. Now, I will agree, the purple and gold color scheme may be the livest color scheme in sports. It's definitely the livest color scheme as far as fraternities and sororities go. Okay? But definitely, I like the purple and gold color scheme. And in baseball, you got, or in sports and college sports, you got LSU. In the NBA, you got the Lakers. You don't really have that in baseball, though. You don't really have that in baseball. So, yeah, I definitely like that color scheme. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. 404-382-0338. Let's talk to T from Huntsville. T, thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What you got, T? What up, T?
Man, just enjoying the show like always, sir, man. Man, somebody mentioned this cat's name before, but just as far as the influence on fashion, Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Me personally, and everybody I went to school with, man, I don't think any of us, everybody wore a bandana. Everybody had a bandana on our team. We had a team mother that would make designs for us. We paid a little bit of money, and everybody had a bandana that was designed up with their numbers and their names on it.
Yeah.
That was all through prime time.
You remember you remember back in the day, those Newman gloves, the white gloves, and then they started getting them for different colors per team. But everybody used to rock those Newman gloves with the sticky, tacky gloves. Yeah. And then they used to do the spat up their wrist all the way up to their elbow almost. And Deion used to do a lot of that too, man, back in the day.
Yeah, very stylish. And the towel. Oh, I almost forgot about the towel. Yeah, everybody had a towel.
Yes!
Had to rock that long towel. Had to rock that long towel with that design on it as well.
Hey, I definitely buy into the long towel.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, yeah, you had to. You had to. Your uniform wasn't complete if you didn't have a towel.
Yes.
And as a side note, as a fashion back then, man, it was very expensive but kind of ugly, those MTM hats and jackets.
Yes!
I wanted one bad, man, but I couldn't afford it. I wanted one bad. Looking back at it, man, them things were kind of damn ugly for expensive as they were.
That's funny.
To be honest, if you look back at it.
That's funny. What else you got? You got anything else?
Yeah, the top 5 on the college uniform, sir. My number 5, I'm going to go with my The Ohio State University. That's scarlet and gray.
Uh-huh.
At number 4, and this will be the only damn way they'll ever be ranked at The Ohio State University anytime soon, the Miami Hurricanes uniform of the 80s.
Yeah.
I agree.
I agree with you 100%, man. You know, I'm a Miami fan. Love the swaggerliciousness of the Hurricanes back in the day. But I hate the all green, color scheme that they got right now, man. It doesn't look right.
No, it doesn't. It looks kind of Hollywood movie-ish or something.
Yeah.
Number 3, give me that Oregon uniform from the 90s that was solid green.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
I'll talk about Oregon when I let you go. What else you got?
Number 2, I got the Colorado Buffalo. No, I take that back. Number 2, I got the Money Green Notre Dame uniforms that you mentioned before. And number 1, I got the 90s Colorado Buffalo uniforms that were all black.
That's what's up.
Like that, because I was all black like that.
That's what's
Hey,
up.
man, thank God for the Stewart Show. You don't know it. That's damn show on the radio, sir. Keep it up. I'm going.
I appreciate the call, T, and T called 443820338. Yes, now we talked about uniforms, all-time uniforms, color schemes or whatever. And I think I may have mentioned this a couple of days ago as well. We were talking about Eric Public Bieniemy, the running back for Colorado, back when they won the national championship or tied for the national championship with Georgia Tech in 1990. Colorado was like one of the earliest teams I can remember that went with that all-black color scheme, okay? And the all-black kind of denoted rebels, and, you know, they had a bunch of, I remember the conversation now, and how they recruited a lot of guys from Compton and supposed Crips and Bloods, and they had all these thug players, but they were good-ass athletes. They could run fast and jump high. And so Colorado, they had that black color scheme, man, and I don't know exactly who was the first one that really made that fashionable and trend-setting. Maybe the Raiders, but the Raiders were never all black. They always had the silver pants, the silver and black. But, now you see a lot of teams. This past weekend, you saw the North Carolina Tar Heels had an all-black uniform that looked so sweet when they got their win over Georgia Tech. And I absolutely love the all-black color schemes. And he also mentioned Oregon. And I know it's easy to say Oregon has the best uniforms in sports because they got like 6,000 combinations. But it's funny, T made mention of it. I like the original yellow and green Oregon uniform. It was real simple. It wasn't all futuristic and shiny and bright and all like that. That stuff that they have these days. And I like that stuff. Sometimes I think they go too far. But go back to the quarterback or the uniform that they had when the quarterback, and his name is escaping me right now, that won the Heisman Trophy, but actually didn't do a damn thing, drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals. But that uniform, when Oregon really, in my opinion, the first time I can remember, came onto the scene, the yellow and green with the OU on the helmet, or maybe they just had an O on the helmet, with the yellow helmets. It kind of had like the college version of the cheesehead helmet in college when Oregon. So I thought about putting them on my list, but they just doing too damn much right now. They doing too much right now, man. So I didn't even put them on my list. I stayed with some more traditional college uniforms in college football. All right. So when we get back from the break, I mentioned and I talked to you a little bit about my affinity for black uniforms on this Top 5 Tuesday. And the quarterback's name was Achilles Smith. Thank you, Jay Blay. The dogs and poodles and the listeners, man, they help your boy out. I mentioned it before. Sometimes my short-term memory is not there. I knew it was Achilles Smith, but his name just, it didn't come. It didn't come to me. But Achilles Smith, Achilles Smith is really the first time. He didn't win the Heisman, I don't believe. I think he came in, he was in the running for it. He may have won it, I don't remember. But Achilles Smith is really, his era is the first time I remember Oregon being relevant. Seriously. The first time I didn't know, and I remember the first time I heard their mascot was a duck. I thought that was kind of lame, but then I also thought it was kind of cool because there's always bulldogs and wildcats and this, that, and the other. And the Oregon Ducks, that's kind of live. And their mascot was Donald Duck. You remember that? Oregon's mascot used to be Donald Duck in the Oregon colors. I don't know if he still is, but I swear to you, Oregon's mascot used to be Donald freaking Duck. He was moonlighting as a mascot for a college football team. All right, up next on the Doug Stewart Show, we'll read more of your tweets and your chat, and still talk about style and sports, and I'll give you my top 5 NFL uniforms. All right, don't go away. Sports talk, that's fun and lively. The Doug Stewart Show.
The Doug Stewart Show is off and running, but just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor, Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your folk. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com. Yes! I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out, I know you better not be talking long distance on that phone running up my bill with that old hussy. Well, get with the times with your long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60 plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedougsstewartshow.com or the link on the DougStewartShow.com app. Try out Univon and call your people like you not at your mama house. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one console, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much, much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on their link on thedougsstewartshow.com or the app link for details.
His sports talk is bigger than Robert Newhouse's thighs. Doug Stewart.
A lot of Dallas Cowboy talk today and old legends. Talked a little bit earlier about Tony Dorsett and the Dorsett cleats. And yes, his sports talk is bigger than Robert Newhouse's thighs. Yes, this is the Doug Stewart Show. And I really appreciate you joining the boy, man. Thank you very much to my studio audience. We have the greatest studio audience in radio history. They are always on cue. And they're always supporting the Doug Stewart Show. Do you support the Doug Stewart Show by passing the word and spreading the gospel of the Doug Stewart Show? You need to. Need you to tell 25 people. That's all I ask is for you to tell 26 people. If you tell 27 people, we'll be so happy. Yes. And my kids can eat. Yes. This is the Doug Stewart Show. You still got a couple minutes to get your call in. The number is 404-382-0338. And you can also email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com. If you're a company out there, you like to partner with the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com. And let's do some business. And this segment is brought to you by Join 7. Yeah, Join 7 is a protection group. They protect against life's little mishaps. So go to thedougsstewartshow.com and join 7. All right, man, thank you for joining your boy today, man. A lot of fun. I love these all-sports topics. We still talk sports, obviously. But whenever we can talk about some interesting stuff, some dude stuff. Now, this uniform and style stuff, this is a barbershop argument. This is a barbershop debate. And this is exactly what it is. And this is the type thing that we do on this show. And this is the things that we did on the Stews for over a decade. And so, yeah, have some fun, man. You know, we got a lot of stuff going on right in the thick of the NFL season. You got the World Series starting tonight. Oscar Pistorius is going to jail for 5 years. I didn't even mention that earlier. But, yeah, he got to go to jail, man. The judge sentenced him to 5 years in jail for the death of his girlfriend. Okay, now, chances are he might only have to serve 10 months, and that's probably what's going to happen. He could get out for good behavior and serve the rest under house arrest. That's probably going to happen. But you just can't kill somebody. And the details of this story are very sketchy. And if you don't know who Oscar Pistorius is, the South African track star, the Blade Runner, has got these artificial limbs. Big story in the past Olympics, but he killed his girlfriend, Reva Steenkamp, and said that it was an accident. Very questionable. That's very questionable, him thinking it was an accident or not. Now, he paid, he also played the role of thinking it was an accident and he was a mistake. Very good. He played it very good. So they exonerated him on that, but then the judge came in and just basically said, nah, you got to do some time, man. These people lost their daughter. We're going to put you in the Hooskow for a couple of years. So very questionable on whether he did or not. I think he did very well in his defense and his testimony. And so, but he still got to go to jail. Very questionable also about Tony Stewart, something that we rarely talk about on this show or going to talk about on this show. Very questionable about Tony Stewart killing that guy on that track. I had never really gotten to that. Very questionable, especially, and I'm kind of digressing here, going back to a story that's been over and done with a couple of weeks now, but very questionable Tony Stewart not intentionally hitting that kid he killed on the track. Now, the kid was a dumbass, and God bless the dead, no disrespect, but the kid was a dumbass for getting out of his car and onto the track to confront Tony Stewart, but Tony Stewart did the same type of thing before. This kid is basically mocking, one of his driving heroes probably. And everybody seemed to miss this kid except for Tony Stewart. Ironically, the person that he had the beef with. I don't know. I'm just saying very suspect, but he's not going to jail for that as well. So it is what it is. All right, this is the Doug Stewart Show. It's my little NASCAR commentary. So we've been talking all day long about style in sports. We're also talking about top 5 uniforms in sports, and I've been talking a little bit about the college uniform of my choice in football, the NBA uniform. I also gave my baseball uniform a little bit earlier. So now I'm going to go ahead and give you, to top the day off, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I'm going to give you my top 5. Matter of fact, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to run through the other list that I have. In college football, number 5 is FSU. Number 4, Michigan. Number 3, Clemson. Number 2, USC. Number 1, Notre Dame. As far as college football uniforms. In baseball, I had the Yankees at number 5, Pittsburgh at number 4, the A's at number 3, Miami, the Marlins at number 2. Even though there's some gay pride innuendo there, but that's fine. That's their business. And number 1, the Baltimore Orioles. Love that Baltimore Oriole uniform. You can call it the Halloween uniform with the funny little Oreo on the front. And then my NBA uniforms, which really, I should not have even done these because they're no fun. NBA uniforms aren't fun at all. Probably the most fun uniform in NBA history was the Phoenix Suns when Charles Barkley played for them. They had a picture on the front. And teams back in the 70s, there were some uniforms with pictures on them. Right now, the Golden State Warriors have a picture of the Golden State Bridge on the uniform. I think it's whack as hell. Just doesn't have that same pizzazz as that Suns picture of the sun on their uniform when Barkley played for them back in the day. So, but NBA uniforms are kind of drab. Number 5, the Bulls. Number 4, the Knicks. Number 3, the Charlotte Hornets. Number 2, the Lakers. And number 1, love that new Cleveland Cavalier uniform with the burgundy and the gold writing. All right, but my top 5 uniforms, and it's a theme. I'm saying it all day long. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. My top 5 NFL uniforms. Number 5, they all got a theme of black. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Number 5, the Cincinnati Bengals. Love the Bengals uniform. Would like to put them higher. Love their creativity. You can't put them any higher because part of me says that they're alive as hell. The fact that they're so unique and they've incorporated their mascot into their helmet with the stripes. It's not a traditional helmet with a stripe right down the middle, one bold stripe down the middle, and a logo on the side. Their helmet is an actual rendition of tiger stripes. That's kind of cool. And it's black base, so I love that uniform. Number 4, the Eagles all-black uniform. And they really don't wear it a lot. I don't see them break out the all-black uniform. I remember a couple of years ago when the black uniforms became popular in the NFL and everybody had an alternate black uniform. And I remember when that was during, I'd say probably 2004, 2005. And on Madden, they started giving you the ability to change your uniform to the alternate uniforms on Madden. And that Eagles all black is just fire. Yes, it's all fire. I really love that all black Eagles uniform. The Chicago Bears. And the Bears uniform isn't black. Most people probably think it's black. But you got to look real closely. The Bears uniform is dark blue. Yes. And I know I'm probably knocking a lot of people off their seats, but I didn't realize until I was like 30 years old either. And sometimes you can see it based on, I guess, the lighting or, how much sun is out that day. And it's more blue than at other times, but most of the time it looks black. But I love the Bears uniform, classic uniform, one of those traditional legacy uniforms that pretty much is the same uniform that they've had since the team's inception there in Chicago. Number 2, the all-black Baltimore Ravens uniform, and they went all black this weekend on the Falcons, and I absolutely love that uniform, man. I love that uniform. I love that logo. You remember the Ravens had a logo initially, I think, where it was like a shield, and I think they actually had it on their helmets, and they changed it like real quick to the logo that you see now on the Ravens uniform, on the Ravens helmet, with the bird, with the B on the side. So I absolutely love the all-black Ravens uniform. And my number 1, and I kind of mentioned this team, this state a little bit earlier, as far as top 5 uniforms in professional football. My number 1 uniform is the all-black Carolina Panthers uniform. What? Oh, my gosh. With the all-black and then the Carolina blue accent trimming, that uniform is so on fire. And I'll tell you what, I don't check for dudes or anything like that, but Cam Newton looks like a football player in that uniform. My gosh. Cam looks like an epitome. He looks like the prototype football player. And if you don't know, if you've never met Cam, and I've met him before, Cam is like a defensive end out there playing quarterback. Him and Terrell Pryor are so huge. Like seeing them on TV doesn't even do it justice. And my gosh, Cam is a specimen. This dude got big ass calves and 6'5", 250 pounds, like 2% body fat. But in that Carolina uniform, that all-black Carolina Panther, he just looks like a specimen. And once again, I don't swing that way. I mean, I'm talking about the uniform and how Cam is the perfect model for those uniforms. Yes, the Carolina Panther all-black uniform is my best uniform and my top 5 uniforms in the NFL. Yes. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you very much for joining your boy. Are you not entertained? I ask you. Are you not entertained? Yes, you know you are. So tell 26 people about the livest, most interactive show on radio. All right, got to thank some people, man, that made this show possible. Thank you to Tree Taylor, a.k.a. the Tree of Life, for doing all that you do. Thank you so much, Tree. Thank you to Waterhead Walter. I really appreciate it. Thank you to CJ, the DJ. I like that. I just came up with that name. CJ, the DJ, my assistant producer, as well as Walter, the Waterhead guy. My assistant producers, thank you guys for what you do. Thank you to my engineering guys as well, Gerald Oliveri and Dwayne Vassan. My web guys as well. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody for all that you do. And thank you to the listeners. Yes. To the dogs and to the poodles out there listening to the show and passing the word on the Doug Stewart Show. I mean, simply put, man, are you not entertained? I mean, come on, man. Let's keep it real. I mean, the people at Spreaker say they're entertained. They say I'm the staff's pick. I mean, they're talking about the show in Zimbabwe right now. Yes. So why don't you give the gift of the Doug Stewart Show? I mean, pass the word, pass the plate around, and put your 2020 in there. I'm not even doing that. It's metaphorically. Pass the plate around. Yes, on the Doug Stewart Show. We'll do it again tomorrow. Same Doug time, same Doug channel. Peace.